Hey everybody, great to see you again this week. We're working our way through the Gospel of John, and this week we're looking at John 5 and 6, these two chapters. And so I hope that you've been reading along, that maybe you've been following this blog, and that as you've been reading, God has just been strengthening your relationship with Him, and hopefully maybe giving you some new insights into who He is. This week, we have some conversations now that are taking place because of the healings and the miracles that Jesus is doing, because He's doing them on the Sabbath, which was a very important day for Jewish culture, a day where there are a lot of rules and regulations. The leaders of the Jews have some questions for Jesus, and one of their main questions is, why are you doing this? Who are you doing this for? What's your mission? What's your goal? What's interesting here is that as Jesus' popularity grows, as the word gets out, there's a lot of people that begin to want things from Him. They want to see healings happen. They want to see signs. They want to know where He's coming from. And Jesus has the opportunity here to say and do things that maybe would try and please the crowds or please the Jewish leaders. But what's fascinating about this conversation that Jesus has in John 5, in particular verse 30, is Jesus responds to this idea of who is He trying to please with this answer. He says, "By myself I can do nothing. I judge only as I hear, and my judgment is just. For I seek not to please myself, but Him who sent me." And of course Jesus is talking about the Father. That the things that He sees the Father doing, healing, life-giving, breathing a hope into people and into Israel and into all of creation, are the things that Jesus does. But He doesn't do them for Himself, and He doesn't do them for the sake of other people. Jesus tells us here in John 5, as you read, that He does these because He's being obedient to the Father, and that whatever He sees the Father doing, He wants to do. And so I was just thinking about that, and I guess my short thought for you today, and my question is, who are you trying to please in your life? We can very easily fall into a trap of trying to please everybody. Some people have said the easiest way to fail is to try to please everyone. We know that we can't always do that, and so oftentimes in our culture we'll tell you, well, if you can't please everybody, you might as well just please yourself. But what Jesus is modeling for us, and I think the invitation of discipleship here is to say, what can I do that pleases God? What can I say in a certain situation? What are my actions in this crisis or this conflict? What can I do that would please and obey what God would have me do, and not necessarily what primarily benefits me or even benefits the people around me, but what God would be pleased with? And so that's my question to you today. Who are you trying to please? And my hope and my prayer is that God would enable you to say, in the same way that Jesus does, I seek not to please myself, but Him who sent me. So just food for thought for your day. Check in later on in this week as we look at the feeding of the 5,000 in John 6.